There's a moment in Stranger Things, Season 5, Volume 1, that most viewers ignored. A moment so small, so quiet, that it lasted barely a breath. But that single moment rewrites everything we thought we knew about Henry Creel, about Vecna, about the Mind Flayer, and even about the origins of the Upside Down itself. It wasn't a battle. It wasn't a scream. It wasn't a murder. It was a hesitation. A single step Henry refused to take. The step into the cave where Max's memory was hiding. Why? Why would the most powerful psychic villain in the Stranger Things universe freeze at the mouth of a cave as if something inside him, something buried, something terrified, stopped him dead? What was he remembering? Or worse, what was remembering him? Tonight, we're diving into the deepest, forbidden chapter of Stranger Things lore. The truth about how Henry Creel actually got his powers, why he was never born a villain, and how the Mind Flayer may have chosen him long before Hawkins even existed. Is Vecna truly the mastermind, or has he always been a puppet, dangling from strings spun by something far older, far darker, a being that doesn't just kill, but eats minds? Get ready, because this is the story Netflix never explained, the story the stage play quietly exposed, and the story the Duffers have been hiding in plain sight. This is the real origin of Henry Creel. Let's begin. The Dark Seed, the true birth of Henry Creel. Henry Creel wasn't always a monster. And that's the part nobody wants to talk about. The part that makes this story so unsettling. Because every villain starts somewhere. Every nightmare was once just a dream. Or in Henry's case, a boy. Before Hawkins, before the lab, before Dr. Brenner, there was Nevada. A quiet desert. A cave system no one visited. And a government project no one should have known about. Picture this. 1950s America, the age of secret bunkers, scrambled radio signals, and experiments stamped with red ink that read, "Unauthorized penalties, extreme." And somewhere in that dust and heat, a scientist, terrified, running, bleeding, defected from a classified interdimensional program. He carried stolen technology designed to rip open space, poke through the skin of reality, and touch whatever lived on the other side. He hid that technology in a cave Henry Creel would one day enter. Not because he was chosen, not because destiny called him, but because he was a child exploring tunnels in the desert. The wrong boy in the wrong place at the very wrong time. And inside that cave, the machine triggered. A pulse, a tear, a doorway. And Henry fell through. Not into the Upside Down, not into hell, but into something older. Dimension X, the prehistoric ancestor to the Upside Down ecosystem, the blueprint. The birthplace of the shadow. And from within that swirling, shifting black mass, something reached for him. A shape, a storm, a predator made of thought and void. The Mind Flayer. But not the one Vecna shaped into a spider. This was the original. Raw, unforgiving, a cosmic parasite searching for a mind soft enough to crawl inside. Henry didn't gain powers that day. He was infected, possessed, marked, claimed by a creature that doesn't simply attack you, it rebuilds you. When Henry returned home, he didn't come back alone. He brought the shadow with him, and that shadow grew. It whispered, it fed on fear. It pushed him toward violence, toward darkness, toward becoming the very thing it needed him to be. A vessel. But here's the part that Season 5, Volume 1 hints at, and almost nobody noticed. When Vecna approached the cave in Max's memory, he froze. Because deep inside Henry Creel, beneath the layers of murder, power, and transformation, the boy he once was still exists. A frightened child who never wanted any of this. A child who remembers exactly what happened in those caves. A child the Mind Flayer buried, but didn't completely erase. And for a split second, that buried Henry tried to stop him. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Could the real Henry still be alive somewhere inside Vecna, screaming behind the walls of his own mind? Or did the Mind Flayer consume his soul completely? Hold that thought, because it gets even darker.